Hey YouTubers, Joe Platt, and we're continuing on talking about German beer styles. And today we're going to talk about the German Bock. Let's go over the numbers real quick. SRM is 20 to 30. IBUs are also 20 to 30. ABV we're looking at between 5.5 and 7.5%. And temperature-wise, we're going to serve this beer at about 45 to 50 degrees. The term Bock has a couple different meanings. One translation of the word is goat, which for our purposes kind of means nothing. But as far as the term for beer concerns, is Bock kind of translates into strong or strong beer. These beers tend to be slightly elevated ABV-wise compared to a traditional session beer. Color-wise, we're looking at a dark brown to very dark in color. These beers tend to pour clear. Carbonation-wise, we're looking at low to medium level. Because we have a slightly elevated ABV, we're going to get a noticeable amount of alcohol, but not burning or warming in any way. This beer tend to have low hop flavor, but a medium hop bitterness. It's something that will be noticeable. What you will get out of this beer is plenty of malt character that tends to come out in toasty, nutty notes. The lager yeast for this beer, this is a lager, produces no phenols or fruity esters. Body-wise, this tends to be a softer bodied beer that produces a short to kind of medium finish. Food pairings, we're going to go with cheeses like aged Swiss and desserts, chocolate desserts. The particular beer I've chose today is Shiner Bock from my home state of Texas. And there's a couple of reasons for that. There may be some of you out there right now screaming, hey, that's not a true German beer, and you're correct on that. And there may be even some of you out there that says, wait a minute, that's more like a Vienna lager than a true German Bock. And again, you might have a point on that. But let me explain why I chose this beer. First of all, if you go to your liquor store and go to the German beer section, you'll see Doppelbocks, Weizenbocks, Eisbocks, Maibocks, but you're going to have a hard time finding just a strict German Bock. And so then we kind of have to leave it to the American producers to produce a Bock beer. And what you're going to find a lot of times is beers like Shiner Bock or Michelob Amber Bock that tend to be a little lower ABV. This particular beer has 4.4 ABV compared to the traditional 5.5 plus of the German beers. And that's just the American interpretation. Also, what you'll realize is that American brewers tend to be a little looser with their beers and, not quite strict with the guidelines. I'll give you a good example. You'll see out there like grapefruit IPAs. Well, if you go and talk to an old school British brewer, he will just probably flip the idea of grapefruit IPA. But here in America, they tend to be a little looser. Also, another reason why I chose this beer is 20-something years ago, when I was a younger man, and started drinking beer, this is probably the first craft beer I got introduced to. And a lot of y'all out there might be drinking, Shiner's not a true craft. But in the context of 25 plus years ago, when I got to college, I was drinking Coors Light, Miller Lite, Bud Light, and even when I tried to expand my flavor, taste, it was Corona, Heineken, Foster's Lager. And Shiner Bock, especially at the time, was a craft beer with a small niche, and it kind of introduced me to the world of craft beers or smaller brewers, regional brewers, what have you. So I kind of want to give it a little props for that. And what you also may not know is Texas has a small but very loyal German population in there, and the Spoetzl brewery does several lines of German beers that I think are real good. So let's give this one a try. All right, we got a nice little head, about an inch or so. Plenty of bubbles, pours fairly clear. Let's give her a nose. Oh yeah, I get plenty of brownish, darkish malt notes. There's not much hop aroma on that nose. Pretty simple. Let's give her a try. Oh, that's nice. Nice malt sweetness. At this ABV, you're not even getting the noticeable alcohol amount compared to a traditional Bock. Yeah, this is not a lot of body, so this goes down nice and easy. Doesn't cover a lot of the tongue. It's kind of simpler in its flavor approach. It's darker, it's maltier than a lager, but it has that kind of lager refreshing body. Or when I say lager, I'm talking about your lighter lagers, your American style lagers. And this is a great beer, again, to get people out of their Bud Light, Bud, Corona, whatever box. Pull them out, try something different. This is a beer that would not offend the palate, but it adds more flavor. There's more to it. There's some toasty notes. You're going to taste the malt in this beer, which is something you might not necessarily taste in a Bud or Bud Light or what have you. Overall, I love this beer. It's why I chose it. Again, it was the first craft beer I ever tasted. And it's something that expanded my horizons. And again, if you're trying to get someone to taste craft beer, this might be that one that gets you in the right direction. Well, I hope you liked this video. If you did, please subscribe down below. Any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always leave them in the comment section, or you can contact me on the Twitter page. Well, until next time, bottoms up.